By seeing the title of this video, you know exactly where we're going. This topic was not only suggested by multiple people, but it's something that I've personally been wanting to discuss for a hot minute now. I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you. Welcome back to my channel. What I do here is document my debt-free journey, as well as share other hustle/motivational things. Let's get to it. As a human being, as a friend, as someone who has friends, please tell me you have friends. I hope you have friends. You're aware that personalities and growth varies. We're all in different seasons of our lives, and just like the seasons, we all change. Generally speaking, of course, but for better or worse, we all change. As a reformed knucklehead who decided to reclaim his life not only financially but in all areas of my life, you can bet your bottom dollar that I've dealt with my fair share of pushback. Speaking from personal experience, anytime you decide to share what's going on in your life, you're ultimately vulnerable because you open yourself up to opinion and criticism, and sadly, not all criticism is constructive. Since I've witnessed this from all angles, I just want to share what I've witnessed and how I maneuver through each scenario. These scenarios I'm about to get into right now, being that they came from friends, family, people you know, love, and care about, they hit a little different. They hit a little different. Anytime you deal with that kind of pushback from those type of people, you're going to feel some type of way about it. And that's natural. It's all a part of growth. I mentioned this in past videos that anything you do for the first time, any situation you're involved in for the very first time, there's going to be some level of discomfort, and that's all a part of growth. That's all a part of growth, and that's how you know you're growing. Once you feel that discomfort, you just got to move through it the best way you know how at the moment. In my last video, I mentioned back in 2016, that's when I decided to transform my life financially. But a year before that is when I started a brand new relationship. So not only was it the relationship and me transforming my finances and just my life in general, that's where people were thrown off. That's what people in my life was somewhat thrown off, because I moved out. I moved in with my girl. I started switching it up because in order to save some money, in order to get my finances in order, some things had to be cut out. Those things I had to cut out was partying, clubbing, bar hopping, drinking, all of the crazy recreational things I used to do. Like I said, I'm a reformed knucklehead. I'm a reformed knucklehead. So all the people I used to hang out with on a regular, I stopped hanging out with them. When I stopped hanging out with them, they didn't like that. They didn't understand it one bit. They felt like my girl changed me. They also felt like I was just being different and that I didn't like them anymore. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. And whenever I tried to explain it, they laughed me out the room. They literally, it was just like, yeah, all right, tell me what you want to tell me. And when I tried to explain to them what I was doing, a little less than 50% really understood, honestly. A little less than 50%. There's a show called The Breakfast Club, and there's a cast member on The Breakfast Club that goes by the name of Charlemagne the God. He always references the rule of 10. And the rule of 10 is anytime you do something different, anytime you change for better or for worse, 3 people are going to be on the fence about it. 3 people are going to agree with you, and 4 people just won't care at all. So you got to keep that in mind. The rule of 10. The rule of 10. 3 people on the fence, 3 people agree, 4 people won't care. That was a game changer for me when I heard it for the first time. And I'm like, you know what? He's right. He's very, very right. So I always kept that in the back of my head while dealing with the pushback I was dealing with. As far as family members go, you're going to come around less when you're on the journey that I'm on. As far as saving money, you're going to come around a little bit less because you have to do what you have to do. Me, I had 3 jobs at one point this year. 3 jobs. If I'm working 3 jobs, what time do I have to go visit people? What time do I have to be social, really? And that's another thing they have to understand, is that you got to do what you got to do. And at the end of the day, if they don't understand, then it's really not up to you to explain it. It's really not up to you to explain it. You have to just lead by example. You got to explain it through your actions, rather. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've done my whole journey. And to the point where everybody comes around, because they do come back around, believe it or not. It was pushed back at first, and then when they finally understood it, say, okay, do your thing, we get you, we know you ain't went nowhere, we know where to find you if we really do need you, but just don't be a stranger. So I get it. It makes perfect sense. So I'm gonna wrap this video up by saying, in order to deal with people not understanding you, changing for the better, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be uncomfortable. But if it's the best thing for you, you have to do everything in your power to fight through that. You have to fight through that. You have to block out the noise the best way you know how. I'm not telling you to completely go into hiding. This is what I did. But do what you have to do for you. And those who really love you, those who really care, they'll ultimately understand. Whether they understand now or later, they'll get it. Last but not least, I just want to say, if you've ever dealt with third degree from friends and family members on your journey to debt freedom, don't take it personal, all right? If I could leave you with any other advice, don't take it personal. It's going to sting at first. It's going to feel funny to you, but they're just responding due to pure curiosity. In my personal opinion, I think they're just reaching out and questioning your actions just because they're curious. You just abruptly changed your life and switched over. That's going to make anybody curious, honestly. So try your best not to take it personal. I get it. It's natural at first. You're just going to feel like, okay, they don't get me. You're going to get offensive even. You're going to take offense to it. You might even try to defend yourself. But at the end of the day, it's not personal. So keep doing what you're doing and you'll be all right. If you got anything from this video, let me know in the comments. If you've ever dealt with third degree from friends or family members while trying to get out of debt, let me know in the comments as well. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I go by the name of Q. And like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll holler at y'all next video. Peace.